In this podcast, we're going to talk about the rules for the common naming system of aldehydes. All right, so far we've been trucking along just fine. We have our IUPAC system. We have the parent alkane names that we work off of. We're changing the names. This is the first time we've introduced something kind of new for the common naming, and you're going to use it for this entire unit. You're going to see these common name prefixes come up again. So when we're using the common naming for aldehydes, we're going to use some new prefixes we've never used before. So if you have a 1-carbon aldehyde and you want to use the common name, you're going to use the prefix form. 2 carbons has the prefix acete, 3 is propion, and my personal favorite is 4, which is butyr. So in order to name using the common naming system, you're going to select the longest continuous chain with the carbonyl in it. So this is nothing new. This is what we've done the entire time. So you're going to count how many carbons include that carbonyl, and you're going to use the prefix that we've just learned, 1 through 4, and you're going to add the word aldehyde. So if it's 1 carbon, form aldehyde, formaldehyde. 2 carbons, acetaldehyde. 3, propion aldehyde. 4, butyraldehyde. Let's practice. All right, let's start off real simple. And I'm going to practice. I'm going to put the IUPAC right next to the common name just because it's a good skill to be able to use both on our more simple aldehydes. Remember that if it goes above 4 carbons, we don't have a common prefix. We have to use IUPAC by default. So this first aldehyde has 1, 2, 3 carbons in it. We always start the carbonyl as 1 because it's always on the end. So the prefix for 3 carbons is propion, and we end with the word aldehyde. So this is propion aldehyde. In the second example, we have a branch. So if we were to name this using the IUPAC, it is again 2, 3. Oh, I didn't say what the IUPAC name was for the previous one, propanal. My apologies. For this one, if we were to name this using the IUPAC, it would be propanal. We don't have to number the position of the carbonyl because it's always on carbon number 1. That makes our chlorine on carbon number 2. So this would be 2-chloropropanyl. To use the common naming, we're going to use a different prefix for the parent name. Okay, this is propion aldehyde. But we still have to mention that chlorine branch. It's still on the 2nd carbon. So this is 2-chloropropyl aldehyde is the common name. 2-chloropropanyl is the IUPAC name. All right, we have a new structure for you to commit to memory. This top structure shows us a benzene ring with an aldehyde coming off of it. So the name of this is benzaldehyde. Okay, so you can treat this entire structure, if you see a benzene ring with a carbonyl coming off of it, you can treat that as benzaldehyde. If there's any groups coming off of it, you would name those groups with the parent chain benzaldehyde. This is considered the only name for this structure. So it is a common name, but we don't have an IUPAC name that matches this, so it is just benzaldehyde. All right, so here we have the same structure, but now we have an ethyl group coming off of it. So we're going to count this as our parent chain. So our parent chain is benzaldehyde. And we have to mention this ethyl group coming off of it. And there's 2 ways that we can do this. The first is just to say we have an ethyl group in the 2nd position because we're going to give the aldehyde the precedence. So it gets carbon number 1. Next lowest number assigned to that group is 2. So this is 2-ethyl benzaldehyde. Or because we're dealing with an aromatic, I can use the OMP designations, and a 1-2 grouping would be ortho. So I could say not methyl, O-ethyl benzaldehyde, and either would be appropriate. You could use them interchangeably.